walking down a winding road, I see the sun that glows in every crack, in every stone where wildflowers grow. The whispers of the wind, they tell a tale of time. Every broken heart's a lesson dressed in quiet rhyme. Tangled heartstrings pull and tear, they guide us through the haze. Every note a melody that plays through all our days. Find the strength in every chord, the courage to let go. Life's a song we're writing slow through highs and every low. The river runs its course, it bends but never breaks, just like the choices that we make, the chances that we take. Every broken heart's a lesson dressed in quiet rhyme. Tangled heartstrings pull and tear, they guide us through the haze. Every note a melody that plays through all our days. Find the strength in every chord, the courage to let go. Life's a song we're writing slow through highs and every low.
Good morning. We just changed our Southwest flight to stay an extra day. Didn't have to pay a fee.
Beautiful. Our kids won't miss us. They're in Mima.
Mima.
We're in love! Again!
Change your flight without a fee. That's a big flex.
Silver thread through symphonies of sorrow and the words we've left unsaid. Tangled heartstrings pull and tear, they guide us through the haze. Every note a melody that plays through all our days. Find the strength in every chord, the courage to let go. Life's a song we're writing slow through highs and every low. Yo, it's the echoes of the past, the lessons in the cracks. We're patching up the holes in all the love we lack. Life's a dance, a crazy chance, a waltz beneath the moon. Keep the rhythm steady, cause the dawn is coming soon. So take a bow and play your part, no matter how it stings. The world will turn, the tune will change, but love's what always clings. The violin, it softly cries, the stars begin to fall. Through tangled heartstrings we will rise, we'll conquer after all. Tangled heartstrings pull and tear, they guide us through the haze. Every note a melody that plays through all our days. Find the strength in every chord, the courage to let go. Life's a song we're writing slow through highs and every low. Every stone where wildflowers grow. The whisper whispers of the wind, they tell a tale of time. Every broken heart's a lesson dressed in quiet rhyme. Tangled heartstrings pull and tear, they guide us through the haze. Every note a melody that plays through all our days. Find the strength in every chord, the courage to let go. Life's a song we're writing slow through highs and every low.
Hello.
Hey guys, holy cow, it has been a while. We missed you and cannot wait to dive back in to all of those tangled heartstrings. Let's get our lives back on track. Welcome back, my co-hosts, Andrea and
Hi.
Are you ready for tonight?
Yes. We're so happy to be back. I'm happy to see you guys. And I'm happy to be talking about all the fun topics that we're going to talk about tonight. So I'm ready.
Honestly, it feels like we've missed so much since we've been gone. Now that we're back, I feel well prepared to dive and see what's coming.
Oh, it's coming. It's coming.
It's definitely coming back.
No pun intended.
I can't wait to get started.
Ah.
The river runs its course. It bends but never breaks, just like the choices that we make, the chances that we take. A violin begins to hum, it weaves a silver thread through symphonies of sorrow and the words we've left unsaid. Tangled heartstrings pull and tear, they guide us through the haze. Every note a melody that plays through all our days. Find the strength in every chord, the courage to let go. Life's a song we're writing slow through highs and every low.
Open relationships, guys. Would you enter into one?
Me? No. I'm too jealous. I know. I like to be the queen.
Yes, absolutely. But if there was that special someone that kind of piqued my interest, there is a possibility.
There is a possibility.
There
That was
is.
me back in the old days.
What was that, TJ?
That was me back in the old days when I was younger. Now
You're so young, Mia.
He's just a baby. It's okay. All right, guys, we're going to talk about some debt and dating. How do you guys feel about having debt while you're dating? Financial security is so important to an extent. When material things come into play, it becomes a problem. As long as the bills are paid, I'm getting a date night and, there's a little bit extra there in savings. There's food on the table. I don't see a problem with it because sometimes our abilities are not up there and we can only financially succeed in some ways. So financial security is important. But if you're requiring gifts to feel loved, you need to make sure that you're finding that person that can afford those gifts before you're making that commitment. That's important also. So we should definitely take that into consideration first before we look at when we're looking at who we're dating. We want to make sure that if we are the type of person that needs those gifts and that needs those things to feel loved financially or all of the monetary things, I hate those things. I'm not a material person at all. I drive a 2014 Ford Expedition that I replaced a motor in because I love it. So the finances part is not a big thing on me. As long as the bills are paid and everything. Andrea, TJ, what do you guys think about this? Are material things important to you guys? Is financial security important? I mean, financial security is when you have your bills are paid, your house, you have a house, you have food on the table, and material things don't come into that financial security part.
Okay, so I'll start. Okay, so I'm dating. So I'm single. So you got TJ, what are you, TJ? Are you engaged? Are you dating? What are you doing?
I guess you could say I'm dating right now. But I'm in a serious committed relationship.
Oh, but you're still dating?
Well, I mean, we're not married, so
you're dating her.
Yeah.
Not fully committed yet, but working towards that maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay. So I am dating. Okay. So for me, I'm not a big gift person. Like I used to think I was until I was with somebody that I wanted more of the love than the gifts. And so that can change you real quick. Cause I'm like, I would give you back this Louis Vuitton purse any day for something, just something that shows me you care about me and love me in a way of verbally speaking or those kind of things. So, so that's a big thing for me. But beyond that, and I say this, I actually was kind of hanging out with somebody who was not in a good spot financially. And for me, it was fun to date, but I'm not going to settle down with somebody like that. Not because I need him to take care of me, but I'm not going to take care of him. I got myself, I'm not going to take care of him. And I want somebody that can match me on the same level. Like if I want to go on a trip, can they go on a trip with me? That's what I'm looking for. So somebody that's like equally in a good spot with me, that I'm not having to feel like, oh, I got to order from the kid's meal because he maybe can't afford the whole dinner.
That's a really good point. Making sure that you guys are, if it's important to you financially, I mean, if you're willing to pay for that other person and to support the lifestyle that you want, that's great. But if you don't want to be the breadwinner and you want to be an equal partner, making sure that that's something that you're looking at when you're on the dating profiles, when you're going on your very first date, talking about finances, because you don't, especially in this day and age, you don't want to waste your time with someone.
No. And honestly, Mia, financial security to me is success is attractive. It's not about the money, the dollars behind it. It's the success. It's the drive. It's the passion, the ambition. It's all of that I find attractive. So you can have a man that has a ton of money and he's just does nothing, whatever. That's not as exciting to me as a man that is successful. But sometimes, it's hard both ways because I'm successful in my own right. But like, okay, I don't have it now. I had a Porsche that I drove. It was a 2016. It was beautiful. Looked like it could be new. But I will tell you, when a man would walk me to my car after the date, the date would be great. Everything was great. He'd walk me to my car. And I swear I would not get called back because now their expectation is, oh, she's like a money girl. She's high maintenance. I'm going to have to pay for her. I'm going to do all these things. I'm very low maintenance. I'm good with Chili's and Applebee's. I know.
Right.
I am. That's like a fine date. Not every time, but
that's something we need to put out there. Just because women drive nice cars and dress nicely and want to,
I mean, I'm money hungry.
They're not money hungry. They are successful on their own. They're looking for somebody that is on their same level.
I'm just high value.
It's not a bad thing to be on the same level. It's actually a great thing because I'm going to be completely honest with you. Came from money, didn't marry into it. And I'm okay with that. So,
do you still get money from where you came from? Like your family?
Not. I would never ask. Absolutely not. I would never ask. So being in that predicament, I have had that material lifestyle and I have moved on from that.
It's not all it's cracked up to be.
Yeah, it's not. It's really not. So when you're looking at somebody to date, especially in this day and age, you want to look at how long have they had their job?
Yes.
You know, are they hopping jobs?
Do they have a job?
Exactly. Do they
Start
have
with that one.
are there bills are there bills paid?
Yes.
Not necessarily on time because, you know, especially with the economy right now, some people can't make those on-time payments. So they're making it up the next month. And then, you know, and it's hard. So we have to take that into consideration because the economy is not great right now.
Yeah.
And dating in this economy is going to be so difficult trying to figure out, are you financially stable? Are you responsible? That is bigger than being financially stable. Are you a responsible person? Are you keeping up with your bills? Are you crying? Are you speaking to these bill collectors? Or do you have bill collectors calling you? You know, are you calling them and saying, hey, you know, I lost my job, or, you know, I got a pay cut because I had to switch jobs?
Yeah.
That is financial responsibility, but that's also being responsible for life in itself.
Well, I can say that I was married for 20 years, and for a good portion of that time, my ex-husband didn't work. I'm not here to talk bad about him. He's a wonderful man. We're great friends. I'm speaking fact and truth only. It was all on me. I was the breadwinner. I did all the bills. I took care of everything. At some point, I started, I'm sure, to become a little resentful of that because you're like, come on, I thought we're partners here. We're a team. So when I got divorced, going forward, it's very important for me to find that partner, somebody who's on the same level or above me. Again, I'm just not looking to take care of somebody. I've done that. I've put in my dues. I'm good. I want to do me, but it's nice to have somebody secure that you feel like you can count on if something happened. Like he's got my back.
I'll tell you, you
I'm
guys
on the opposite end of that. Like he has been the breadwinner and I have been the stay-at-home mom. And now I'm getting back into the workforce at 41 years old. And, you know, he is financially responsible. I am not. And I will get into that later on in this episode because we're going to go over some financial things later on. I'm not financially responsible. I have a shopping issue. So, you know, these are things that we have to take into consideration too. So
I'll tell you, you guys got two songs running through my head right now.
What's
Honestly,
that, TJ? What do we got?
Material Girl by Madonna. Of course, because she is living in her material world.
Material world.
Also, you know, Bag Lady by Erykah Badu. You know, when you got too much.
Well, I'm singing. I ain't no gold digger.
Yeah.
broke.
I feel that. Like,
exactly.
you never know when too much is too much, you know?
You really do need to know that when too much is too much. Live within your means also. Don't overreach your financial ability. I mean, if you can't afford that Louis Vuitton purse, don't look at that Louis Vuitton purse.
That's right.
Maybe you need to go with Coach or even, you know, go to TJ Maxx and find out what they have on sale. That's okay too. And when these men or, you know, even women out here buying their significant other gifts, just the thought of buying that gift in general is enough. If they don't appreciate what you have purchased them, whether it be a watch, a bag of candy, a dozen of roses, or a Louis Vuitton purse, they should always appreciate what you buy them.
Yes. I'm about the little things. I like the candy. The bag of candy.
Or the love note, right?
Yeah.
I like being spoiled, so like
Wait,
I gotta
you're
give
the gold digger.
You know?
We were here today.
I gotta give to give.
A turn of events.
If you're into those gifts, there are love languages where they love to give gifts. Find that person.
What kind of gifts you like, TJ?
Oh, okay. I mean, I love giving birthday trips. I took my girlfriend last year to
experience it.
No, you love giving gifts, not.
I love giving gifts because I want to receive the nice gifts too. You know, you got to treat people how you want to be treated out here.
There you go.
So yeah, I took my girlfriend on a trip to Daytona, but I'll see how it pays off soon.
Exactly.
That's funny. Gifts are nice for sure, but it's not the be all and end all.
Exactly. And then, you have the person like me that is not financially responsible, that likes to shop and likes to go and spend the money that the husband makes or that she makes. And then there's no savings. And we've been at that point. We have been at that point. It's been a while, but we've been at that point. So we took on this aspect of him taking over complete finances and completely, and it's something that a lot of people find as financial domination. And TJ, I asked you to look this up and really look into this because I know a lot about this because I've allowed my husband to have that financial domination over me. Not that he has taken it from me. I have given that to him because I know I'm not financially responsible. But I know there are some people that have a different aspect of it. TJ, will you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. In a relationship, financial domination refers to a dynamic where one individual controls significant influence over another's finances. I've seen both the pros and cons of financial domination. I've been in a relationship where my significant other was financially dominant over me. In that time, I felt like the effects were different for both male and female. As a man, I kind of felt low for myself mentally, and it made me skeptical about how my significant other viewed me. Maybe as a little boy, like they're taking care of another child. But at this point, at that point, I was very young and very naive to the importance of money. So I want to say it opened my eyes to the person I am today. In today's society, we all know that credit is a huge topic when making financial decisions, like buying a house, a car, or even starting a family. Some people take it as far as starting a family business. I have a Reddit that talks exactly about this. It's called Financial Domination When Safe Word is Your Credit Score.
With this Reddit, I found it interesting because they've dealt with a death. And and then in the dating world, exactly, a suicide death. And if you feel the need that you do not need to be in this world anymore, please call 988. There is somebody there that can speak with you and can give you guidance. You are wanted in this world. You are needed in this world. And suicide is never the answer. When you choose suicide, you are choosing your family to suffer, your family to wonder, what did I do wrong to make this person decide not to be here? And if you are feeling that low, please speak to somebody. Again, the number is 988. And never feel bad about feeling that way. I've been there, I've done that, and I am a survivor. So utilize that number 988, please.
Feel free to text 988 also. You can anonymously text them.
That is amazing. Thank you. That is new information for me. Thank you, TJ. So he committed suicide. She was in a financial struggle. And now she's out in this dating world and finding out that that financial struggle she went through because there was so much debt left that she had to take care of, and her credit score suffered from it. So she needed to figure out and purchase her house. So she's successful now. She
Yeah.
may have a small credit score, but she owns her home. She has her bills paid. And just because you have a low credit score does not mean you are financially irresponsible. There are things that happen in life in general, loss of job, lower income because you had to take a pay cut because the company is cutting back, and then you're not able to pay your bills. So taking that into consideration when you're looking at people's credit scores, it's important to know, yes, because yes, it does show financial responsibility, but it's also important to find out the reason behind it. Why is your credit score so low? What happened in your life that caused your credit score to lower?
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean, I'll be honest with you. Our first year of marriage, I put us $45,000 in debt because I was into that material lifestyle. We filed bankruptcy and both of our credit scores were at 520.
Mia.
I know, exactly. And this is, I was not taught about financial responsibility, but my kids all have a 700 credit score when they leave my home because I put them on a credit card at 16 years old.
Mm-hmm.
It is important to do that for all of your children, to put them on one of your credit cards, to create that good credit score. So when they go out and they try to get that apartment or they try to go finance their first car, they're able to do those things.
Yeah.
You don't have to be there to co-sign for them because you've already co-signed for them while they were younger.
Yeah.
Can you be my mom, honestly? Andrea, how critical is it in your household to be financial literate?
Oh, very. I mean, okay, so I'm single, so it's just me, but I have my two sons. My older son is totally self-sufficient. So he's always been great. He did commercials when he was young, made a bunch of money. He's set. Okay, so he's good.
Right.
My younger one is he's a musician, singer, songwriter, producer. So he has a lot. I mean, he has ups and downs. He is, producing. So he does sessions where he makes money, but then he's also doing shows, and then, he'll get paid for the show, but then he has to like pay for the dancers or the flights or the hotel and all that stuff. And he needs clothing and he needs to keep up his appearance and all of these things. So I had to get on him a little bit because he had like a secret credit card. And I was like, oh my God, what are you doing? And it's really hard, I think, for kids these days because they don't realize how easy it is, to spend it, because a credit card doesn't feel like real money. It's such an easy thing just to swipe it. And even more so with Google Pay or Apple Pay, it's a touch of a button. And I'm like, you're killing me. You're killing me. It is so easy for them to pay for things, to do things. And next thing you know, and they don't have and say, I'm frugal. I'm very frugal. I'm looking when I go, to the restaurant. Yeah, I'm not getting the steak and lobster every time, or I'm looking for the things, I head to the sale rack. Kids these days, they have no concept of money. So it's very difficult. So
I'll say the clearance rack is my best friend, honestly.
see, you can find great stuff in the clearance
If not,
rack.
we're going thrift shopping,
That's right. Yes, totally.
Mia,
Especially today's world.
Yeah, I've got a question. What are financial red flags for you?
Financial red flags for me.
Yeah.
There's really not that many, just because I've been on both aspects of it. So I've been on the money side and I've been on that material side, and I totally dislike it. Creating healthy habits when you're young is more important than creating healthy habits when you're older. So, especially if you're just getting into a relationship, it's important to start with if you're sharing income. And this is only if you're sharing income, because I disagree with it, but I know a lot of people do it, and they have separate bank accounts and separate savings accounts, and they keep finances completely separate, and to each their own. But and this is mine, because I started dating him at 16 years old, and we We opened a checking account together when I was 17 years old, and we have shared finances since then. I had some pretty financial struggles with my parents and had to pay some bills with them, and they were into my finances, so it was best for me to keep my finances away from them at the time. So we've always kind of shared our accounts. So creating healthy habits in the beginning, taking and making that savings account to where you both have to sign off on it in order to take money out of it. Making sure that you're both willing to save money and that you're not into those material things. Because if you're into the material things, you're never going to be able to save money unless you're making a significant amount. And I'm talking about young relationships. I have a daughter that's been married almost 2 years. And I tell her this all the time, you know, save money now before you have children.
Yeah.
Have that savings account balanced and there. Make sure that you are saving money everywhere that you can. Stop going out to eat. But creating those healthy habits in the beginning of your relationship is so much more important.
Even ordering water instead of sodas or something when you go, that's a big, we used to do all the time. And you're like, you know, sodas are now $3, $4 and you have kids with you and whatever. That's half your bill right there.
Right?
Frugal
Exactly.
here.
Now, I know that financial plays a huge part in dating, and we're getting into this summer dating scene where, you know, everybody's hot and ready to mingle. You know, they've gotten their summer bodies ready and they're ready to mingle. But it can have a huge, huge play on our mental health too. Who's hotter? Andrea, I know that
I'm hotter.
I know you've been talking about that mental health and sliding into DMs.
Yeah. I'm gonna admit, I cannot figure this out. I tried to I slide in and right back out. I don't know what happens. I'm so bad at it. Nobody responds to me. I'm like, why? You know, people say they meet all the time. I'm trying to find other ways to meet people other than the dating apps, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm going to try doing a couple DMs. No, I get no response. Not that I'm expecting to get a response from everybody, but once in a while, I mean, throw me a bone, goodness. Yeah. Okay. So I'll get back on topic, mental health and the dating and all that. So that's such a great question. Okay. So you were kind of asking, Mia, you were asking me about sliding my DMs, therapy bills, all that stuff, right? And you were asking about mental health and dating. When is it safe to date if you are like in some kind of a trauma, right? So for me, it's kind of like, I'm not an expert on when is the right time for somebody to date. It depends on what your trauma was, right? If you are still in the throes of it and you have been just, you know, totally in such a bad place, you're in a really dark place, no, you shouldn't be dating, because the most important thing about dating is to date yourself first and to love yourself first and find who you are, reclaim your life and get yourself in a good spot. And then you're going to attract those people that see your energy and how happy you are and all of that. So if you're walking around with your head down low and your Eeyore, you know, and you're all upset and down and you've got so many things going on in your life, it's just not a good time to bring in somebody like that, because all you're trying to do is transfer that energy to somebody else so you don't have to deal with it. And then they're like, ugh, that is such a turnoff for me to go out on a date with somebody who's just like a negative Nancy. It's poor Nancy. You know, that's so
We're going to change this to Nathan.
Negative Nathan. Oh my goodness. It's just really hard to deal with that. And then it brings you down. So for me, I'm just kind of saying, like, really look at where you are in your trauma. If you're in therapy, you're probably going to continue therapy. So some of these traumas are not going to go away. They're not expected to go away overnight, but give yourself a chance to get to a positive place where you can make a positive reciprocation in a relationship. So I
agree on 100%. Always be in a positive place.
Yeah.
If you are in a negative place and you are out there in the dating world, the only thing that you're going to pull in is negativity. You're not going to pull in that soulmate, that
Yes.
special person that is going to take care of you mentally, financially, romantically. You're
Yeah.
not going to find that person if you're in a bad place yourself.
No, and it's hard because misery loves company. It is couldn't be any
Exactly.
truer. You want to sit, you want to talk about it. I remember I went through a really dark time with a relationship, and I just wanted an ear to listen. Like, you just want to be able to talk about it. Somebody says his name and you're like, oh, they want to talk about this. You just want to like sit in it. And it just doesn't put it into like a good place. It gets you in this negative spot, and then you're just attracting more negative energy. So I think
she
you
got to
just
watch
got to
out for
kind
those
of,
vultures out there.
Yeah.
Those vultures that will prey on your negativity. They love to eat at you when you're down. They'll always be there waiting in the shadows for you to be down and come and be like, hey, I can take care of you. But
that's it.
No. They're there to tear you down even worse.
That's right. Love you.
Absolutely. They will totally tear you down. It's important to make sure that you're in a healthy place and they are in a healthy place, because if they are tearing you down and you're in a healthy place, move on.
Yep.
Remember those red flags.
Yeah. There's a lot of red flags.
Definitely move on from those red flags, ladies and gentlemen. Do not touch them.
Green flags only. That's what we're looking for.
Walking down a winding road, I see the sun that glows in every crack, in every stone where wildflowers grow. The whispers of the wind, they tell a tale of time. Every broken heart's a lesson dressed in quiet rhyme. A violin begins to hum, it weaves a silver thread through symphonies of sorrow and the words we've left unsaid. Tangled heartstrings pull and tear, they guide us through the haze. Every note of melody that plays through all our days. Find the strength in every chord, the courage to let go. Life's a song we're writing slow through highs and every low.
Hello, TJ.
Hello, Andrea. How are you?
Welcome back. TJ, so what do you think about this new hot girl algorithm? What do you think about the girls? And I need the guys' opinion, truly, honestly. What do you think about all of these girls using all of these filters, creating these AI images of them? Does it turn you on more, or does it kind of turn you off?
Honestly, I am not a fan of any of it. I've seen all these AI Instagram's following me. I've seen all of these AI pictures of girls faking like they're in Cabo, and I am a technical genius, I guess, and I see those green screens in the background. You can't hide those lines around you. It's a lot of blurred lines in between there, but I think they need to find a new way around it. Honestly, the algorithm is probably no for me.
A big no. Well, but what about we're getting older, you know, a
Okay,
little bit.
so here's my thing. This is my thing on it. So I use filters all the time, like crazy. And I may be delusional. My husband tells me I am delusional. I don't use my real name. You know, I'm out on social media and and there's a lot of women out there, there's a lot of men out there that don't use their real name. They don't want to be recognized in public.
Hmm.
So, you know, they're using these filters that these geniuses have made for us. And I feel that maybe they won't recognize me. You know, when I'm out with my kids or out with my husband trying to have a date night or trying to go and take my kids to the theme park, you know, I'm not going to get recognized in public. Not that I have this huge following. I'm humble about my following. But, you know, there's that possibility because there are strangers that follow me.
But what happens if you do? Do you pretend that you no, I'm sorry, you have me mistaken for somebody else?
I don't.
Or do you
If
go with
I'm
it?
with my family, I don't answer to Mia.
Okay. See, so they're like,
Well,
Mia, and
I'm
you
coming
just
out
keep
to family
walking.
fun
I
night
just
next
keep
time.
walking, so they have no idea. So
Okay.
it's good on me, on my part. Yes, everybody is finding out that Mia's not my real name, and I'm honest about that. If anybody asks me,
Yeah.
but it's
So wait, we should have changed our name.
I have older children. You know, I have older children that have their own lives, and it's important to me to, if they don't want that aspect of me being on social media in their life, that's up to them. And I don't want them to be drugged into what I'm doing.
Yeah. I think that filters have gotten out of hand, and maybe some of our listeners and watchers can kind of chime in on this, what they think about filters, so we can get, you know, some feedback on that. But I would love to know what some of you guys think about the filters. So join in. But you know, for me, I think it's a little bit of a security. You know, you feel a little bit different, especially the older that we're getting, right? You feel like there's just so much out there with all the social media. Everybody's using filters. Everybody looks great. And you feel like you got to almost keep up with the Joneses. And so, you know, you're doing things to get an edge, to get up on somebody else. But at the end of the day, you know, if we were to look at filters within the dating profiles, I mean, I think it's such a joke when a guy is using a filter in the profile, and I spot it right away. And it's a turnoff for me because I'm like, oh, that's not what you look like. What are you trying to hide? So I'm always kind of thinking that, even though I don't apply the same thing to myself. But I try not to use filtered photos on, you know, any of my, like, a dating profile or anything like that. I actually love it when a picture comes out just like great and it's actually not filtered. It's such a rewarding feeling. You're like, oh, this looks so good, and it's not filtered. I wish a lot of people would kind of get rid of the filters, but that is totally the craze right now. So
I think the problem is us men can't really use the filters.
yeah,
I can't use a filter. I can't use a filter when I want to make my penis size grow, you know?
There is probably something for that, TJ.
Yes.
I mean,
I'm sure there
ChatGPT is
is.
filling off everything now, so that's probably true. But I love the natural beauty on just everyone, just to see, you know, I got face wrinkles, you know, I love showing my face wrinkles off. My eyebrows sometimes stick together. I'll show that off. Call me unibrow if you want.
I think what you said, Andrea, with dating profiles. So I'm not in the dating world, so that's completely different. Social
Yes.
media is one thing, but when it comes to dating profiles, I don't think filters should be used at all.
No, because we're already so worried about the catfishing. I mean, people catfish without a filter. Like when you put a filter on and then you're meeting people. I thought about this the other day. I had a date and normally I'll do like FaceTime or something ahead of time. So I get a kind of a gauge on it. And I didn't this time. And I'm driving there and I'm having a whole conversation with myself going, okay, Andrew, if he's way off of what he looked like in his photos, if he's way heavier, if he's uglier, you have the right to walk away. It's complete deception. It's deception. And I shouldn't feel, I'm very sweet. I'm very nice. And I feel obligated to be, I would probably still stay and be like, I'll have one drink or something. But to me, you're starting out on a lie. And what is the point there? Are they hoping that you're just going to love their personality so much that the extra 100 pounds doesn't matter? I don't know. It's so frustrating. It's frustrating.
I think so. I think that as men, we have insecurity about what women think about us, that, we have to mask ourselves so that when it comes real time, we can show the real us. I might show my picture as a white guy, but you come and see me in person, I'm definitely the sexy chocolate man, and you might feel indifferent about it. We never really know in these days and times.
Or terrified, TJ, to go into a date or something. No, are you laughing at this? No, sexy chocolate.
I'm talking about the white man picture. Come on.
It's brilliant. White man filter with a black man's penis filter. Do that.
There you go. Yes. That's perfect.
That's perfect. But
I question for you guys though. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're in the dating world. I'm married. So I'm like, and TJ's kind of committed, not quite yet. He's working on it.
So we're counting on me, guys.
His girlfriend is gonna hate me, but that's okay. She'll love me later. Anyway, so I have a question. What if you are on a date or you are laying with your significant other, whether it be male or female, and they are deciding that they're gonna start masturbating
right next to you?
They're gonna go ahead and start. I don't know if they're going to finish yet because we, as the person laying next to them, can determine that for them. Because we can either say, hey, dude, that's enough. That shit ain't gonna happen. Or, hey, go on about your business. I understand. I'm not in the mood. Go for it. But I mean, how would you feel if you were laying next to somebody and they started just getting it on with themselves?
I guess it has to go for the sex that you're talking about. For me, I'd be like, hey man, whatever you're thinking about, I love it. Keep going. I might watch.
But it's a turn on for you, right?
Turn on for guys.
Right.
But for women, I don't think that's the same.
I find it attractive.
Okay.
So I mean, as a married woman, and we have a very, very sometimes overly acceptable sex life. Sometimes I'm not in the mood, and and I'm gonna turn over and I'm like, I'm gonna knock out, and he's gonna finish himself. He's gonna start and finish himself. Sometimes he's not in the mood, and when he falls asleep, little Miss Mia is over there taking care of herself. So it's not that we've turned each other down, but neither one of us are in the mood. Now, what happens when somebody turns us down? If he turns me down, I will say this, it doesn't happen often, but when he does, I get upset. And I'm going to take care of myself anyways if I'm in the mood.
Yeah.
I don't care if he's laying next to me or not. And he feels the same way. I think it should be acceptable in long-term relationships, to be honest, because we've been together for 24 years now. We just celebrated our 24th anniversary.
That's so awesome.
So having and taking into consideration, or maybe, and this can come into play too, maybe he has erectile dysfunction. Maybe he has a low libido, and she needs to start herself off, or he needs to start himself off before they even get in the mood to be there. And that's when porn comes into play. Be okay with your partner using porn in those aspects. If they're overusing it, don't be okay with it. But if they need a little bit of help because they have a low libido, and it's not that they don't find you attractive, it's just they're having health issues that they need a little bit more help to get there.
So I have a question for you both. What is the overuse of porn?
No such thing.
If you're over there masturbating more than you're fucking me, then that's overuse.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm always ready.
And I think that can go back to, I have a lot of things to say here real quick, but I think that can go back to the status of your relationship. First of all, where are you guys at? Because whether you're married or you're dating and you're just kind of, or you're hooking up, whatever it might be, that's a big determination right there. So if you are over there masturbating by yourself while your partner's laying there, are you doing it maybe out of spite because they were not interested in turning you down, so you start doing that? Is it that, you have this agreement and who cares? You can go ahead and do that. I personally don't have a problem with it if I've already been addressed about it, or like asked, do you want to have sex tonight? Or they kind of try to get me and I'm like, I don't want to. I have no problem with them doing that. Now, if they were sitting over there watching porn and doing it, I don't think I'd like that, to be honest, because I'm kind of like, okay, but I'm still here. I'm still right here. So I think if you're going to bring the porn into it, I think that's a little bit more personal. Go do that on your own time without me here. But I find it attractive when a man is doing that next to me. I know I've had men that find it very attractive if I'm doing that. They're very into that. It's a very, high thing for them to watch that. So I don't really have a problem with that. With the erectile dysfunction, that can be tricky. And I really feel for guys with that. I really do, because that's probably a really tough thing. And I was actually talking to somebody, or I saw something the other day, we were talking about ED, and somebody was like, with men that are older, does that happen a lot? And I think it happens way more than we even know about, right? Because there's pills now that they can take, or they can, I don't know, penis pump.
I don't know. I think people take them without
doing it too. And I was asked to take one once because it's supposed to get your juices flowing. It's supposed to create a different kind of, yes.
Interesting.
Yeah. Now, did I take it? I don't know.
Maybe.
But you know what? Like, because it's supposed to just get you both. It kind of like, it kind of gets you into this really good mood. So there's all kinds of things you can do to get around that, I think. But like I said, it comes down to, for me, it's fine if you want to lay there and do that next to me. I mean, as long as the bed's like, I'm up, like, the bed's like I'm on one of those massage beds, put a quarter in it. Remember those beds? Put a quarter in it. I'm older than you guys. I'm quite a bit older.
You're not much older than me, honey. Trust me.
Do you remember beds with quarters or water beds?
Yes, I do. I used to have a water bed. They were the best thing ever.
Isn't that crazy to think about?
So the important thing that we're going to take
about a wet dream
right here is communication.
Yes.
Open communication. Communicate with your partner. Does this bother you? Let them know it bothers you. Ask them why they're doing it. Why do you feel the need to masturbate before we have sex? Or masturbate when we're not having sex, when we both decided not to do it?
Yeah.
Or why do you have to masturbate when I tell you no? Why do you find it necessary? If you have an issue with those things and you're not communicating them, you're creating a big problem in your relationship. You need to communicate that you have issues with those things, and be okay when they come back and be like, hey, this helps me do this, or, I need this little boost before. Expect those things to come out of them.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Now
Now you guys are gonna have to tell me more about these quarter beds because I
Oh my God.
know nothing
I
about
think you used to. I never had one, but you could put a quarter in the bed, and I think they were found in motels, not
Mhm.
more motels. And you put the quarter in, and it vibrates the bed. So now you're kind of it's like a massage. Nothing like a massage. You're literally just
No,
like,
it just helps you along a little bit.
your babes are
Those
just
are
like,
in those like rent
So-
by the hour motels.
Okay, so we're talking about
Never
a
been.
large dildo, in a sense.
You have to bring your own dildo.
Oh, gotcha.
like you're laying on a massive dildo, DJ.
Like you can't just sit on the side of it and like let it
No,
vibrate.
it's the whole bed. The whole bed.
Okay.
It's so bad.
Knocks you off your game a little.
That's
Have you ever
interesting.
sent a dirty text and it's dry on the other end? Have you like one-line answers or no fucking response at all?
Oh, and you feel like such an
So
idiot.
like the other person wants to see it and get no response. Like, what the hell is going on? Is their Wi-Fi down? What's going on? Are they?
I'm a terrible sexter.
What?
If that's I'm
No way.
terrible. I cannot think of. I mean, like, wait, you want to do what? I'm terrible at it. I have no game in the sexting. I'm much better in person.
Much better in person. A lot of people are like that.
Yeah.
Now. I love sexting. I'm a big spicy book reader too. So I get all kinds of ideas from that. I'm like, oh, I want you to come home and tie me up and do whatever you want to me, or you know,
ChatGPT is great now too.
come and put your head between my legs and let's see what happens. You know,
Excuse me.
those
My
are
ears are very
things that
young.
we need to be texting our significant other.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
They need some sort of like help with that. I guess ChatGPT would be our help these days.
You need help with that. I recommend the dirty books. The dirty books will help you so much because you will hear all kinds of shit you don't want to hear in those books. Things that you never thought were possible will happen in those books. And then your texting, sexting game will skyrocket.
You also like talking dirty, Mia, if I'm not
Oh, I
mistaken.
do. I love to talk dirty. I have a dirty mouth. I say dirty things all the time, and I really don't care who's around me. And that's just who I am. And if people don't like it, well, then fuck off.
That's
Yeah, I am a bad texter also. I do like dirty talking though. That is very much
but it
all
doesn't
me.
translate to the texting very well.
It does not.
It doesn't have the same vibe.
I think I take texting a little too serious.
Yeah.
Voice record. So that's what you do. You voice record and then you send that instead. So that would be like sexting too. And then they hear that whatever, if you put that deepness into your voice or whatever, you can do that.
Oh,
sexiness.
Oh yeah. It's the chocolate.
I can
But
respect that.
But also that makes me nervous with sending photos. I mean, that can kind of play into the sexting stuff if you're sending any nude photos or videos.
Those noodles.
Huh?
We like to call those noodles.
What is
Those
that?
noodles.
A noodle is a nude photo.
Oh, okay.
That we send to our significant other. We do not send them to people that do not know that we are sending them to them. That is rude and uncalled for.
I am not a nude sender,
AKA
so
dick pics.
Yes, you're speaking of dick pics. Dick pics come in and sometimes they're interesting, but it is best, especially with mothers, and there are a lot of single mothers out there that are into the OnlyFans. And it's important to make sure that when you have and sending these dick pics that you are asking permission first. Before you're even sending to your significant other, be like, hey, I've got this sexy photo I want to send you. Are you able to look? Because they might be in a meeting. There might be people looking over their shoulder. You
Oh
can't
my gosh.
willy-nilly send out these photos.
Imagine someone sending a nude photo while your kids are on the iPad.
Okay, so I had somebody, yes, and it was I'm trying to think, it was a while ago because my son was younger, but it was like the picture that he sent was in like a little circle, and sometimes you have to click on it, right? And I'm like, Grandma, what's that? And I'm like asking him, and he's like, oh, you hit here. What?
Wow.
I'm gonna block. You send me a dick pic. I'm a cock blocker. You're gonna get blocked right there. I'm a cock blocker. That's for sure. No, don't send me that. That's a turnoff. We like what it does, not what it looks like. Sorry, guys out there. I mean, we like it, but you know what I mean.
I'll be completely honest with you. I'm bisexual, and I really don't find our reproductive organs very, very, very flattering. I don't find that vaginas are very pretty, and I don't
Lots
find
of layers. Lots
I
of
just
layers
don't-
up in there.
I know, right?
I
And
can't admit I've got a few clips.
I just like the aspects of what they can do for us.
Yeah. Wait,
I don't-
TJ, what'd you say?
But if you're gonna send me a booty pic or a boob pic, totally do that.
Totally good. Hold on, I gotta hear TJ's comment here. What did you say?
I said I've got a couple of clip pics before,
Click pics? Oh.
but definitely boobs and ass pics a lot.
Yes, I think the boobs and the booty are like the pecs. Like, send me your pecs. But
Yeah,
don't
I'm a
send me
peck
your-
girl.
Or like the V line, put some panties on and send
Yes.
it, or put some
Yeah.
boxers on and
Yeah.
send it.
You can't give it all at
leave
once.
a little bit
No,
to the imagination.
imagination.
Yeah. Don't show everything at
Right,
once.
tip.
That's what OnlyFans is for.
Join us
Give me
here
the
for more tips
appetizers,
on what to
please.
send.
Only the appetizers, guys.
Oh.
That's
Only-
exactly right. Only the appetizers. Do not send everything at once because we are not at a buffet. If you want the buffet prices, put the ring on the finger, baby.
That's right. That's right. I like
You
that.
have to have a ring to have the buffet. You can get teasers and appetizers, but that's about it. Maybe a few
Yes.
cocktails.
Well, then I gotta ask, how soon is it too soon in the relationship to send, a picture?
Ooh.
Communication. Are you actually having sex yet? Have we seen you naked? Are we just trying to get them interested because we're horny? Because maybe they're not at that point in the relationship yet. So communication, I stress this so much because it has worked for 24 years for me. Communicate with your partner. Ask them questions. Tell them what you like and what you don't like. If you don't like getting sent nude pictures, tell them it turns me off. Don't send me nude photos. If you don't like sexting because you're not very good at it, say, hey, I love when you send me those things and I apologize that I can't reciprocate, but it turns me on. I can't do it. Be open and communicate that with them. Communication will get you so far in a relationship. When you stop communicating, that's when problems start to arise.
Yes, ma'am. That is.
It is.
See, that is true.
And we hit on some OnlyFans stuff. I was mentioning that because what are these girls doing? Because there's a lot of sexting and there's a lot of dick pics going around and getting pushed back and forth between OnlyFans, Snapchat, whatever they're using, Instagram, Reddit. There's so many things that these content creators, that's what we're going to call them today. We're not going to call them OnlyFans stars because why put that name when it is so negatively looked at? These are women out here and men. There are couples out there on it, and they have to integrate their family into this. So when you're sending those dick pics and those nudes to their Snapchats, and I know that a lot of us look at it and be like, okay, we're only going to open these things when we're not around our family. But sometimes those things aren't possible because we are trying to integrate family with our business. And it goes for any social media, not just OnlyFans, whether you're on TikTok or Clapper, Instagram, and you're out there on the shop promoting stuff or whatever. You're still getting those dick pics because men just, and women too, they don't care. Neither one of us really care about who we're sending these to because we're horny. And that's just what we're doing. It's just our personality. And they're not taking into consideration that these people have families. These people are around their families. They have kids looking over their shoulder. They have their husband or their significant other there with them. And maybe their significant other knows about it, but doesn't want to hear about it. You know what I'm saying? So how do we integrate those together? My simple solution is pick days. Pick days and hours where you know that your family is busy. And that's when you open Snapchat and OnlyFans and TikTok and post to those things during those times and those times only. Never, ever, ever, and take away time from your family. For business. Yes, I understand that people that go out and work every day and go to an office or go out and work in retail, they take time away from their family. But we've been blessed and able to pick and choose when we can work and when we don't have to work. So taking that time and making a schedule and being like, okay, my kids are in school from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. So I can take from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. and create that time for my social media. And that's the only time I spend on my social media. Or, you know, sometimes we need to post in order to boost ourselves, to get those people to view us, because it's hard to get on those For You pages. It is so hard to get on those For You pages. So we post a shit ton of videos to get there. But we're also, you need to do those during times that are not with your family. Those are important.
Important times. Yes. I'm a little out of the loop on the whole OnlyFans. I used to call it fans only. It was so tricky for me.
It's okay.
OnlyFans.
And it's not all sexual on there. I will tell you that there are a lot of women on there that are cooking. There are a lot of women and men on there that do health and fitness. It's gotten such a bad name because there are so many content creators. That's what I will call them. Out there putting their nude self on there, and that's okay. You know, to each their own. If they're beautiful and able and willing to do that, there are a group of people that enjoy that, and I see no problem with providing a service for a need.
Well, we were talking the other day about the girl, I don't want to say names or anything, that had slept with 563 guys in 5 hours, right? And they really promoted her as being from OnlyFans. First of all, what the fuck? I mean, that's just crazy to me. That's crazy to me. From a health standpoint, from like a image standpoint, there's so many different reasons, like just from who you are. And I'm not here to judge or say anything. I'm just speaking personally. That would never be a choice of mine. But it does set this really negative stigma with OnlyFans. And so, you know, you saw my face when you're like, oh, there's actually people on there that promote cooking. And this, I'm like, oh, what? I didn't even know that. Like, I thought it's all a completely sexual thing.
No.
But I also think it was a little, I mean, it's crazy when you think about that story. I don't know how that all played out or what happened. It was very, there was a lot going on in that story. I don't even know how you do that. You have men lined up. They're all standing there, condom ready to go. They're just, you know, pants down, ready. I'm up. What? Who's participating in that?
I'm married. I have only ever slept with one man. Ever in my life. I could not imagine and I have it. Kudos to her for doing it. For having the ability to do it. Kudos to her. She made money doing it, and she's going to be able to live off of that money. Kudos to her.
She's suffering physically, mentally from that.
Right. There's so many things that could happen with that. Physically, I heard, I don't know for sure, I heard that maybe she had made it into the hospital because of it. Mentally, knowing that many people slept with you at one time within a certain amount of time, and then having to deal with the backlash of society.
Yes.
That is probably going to be her hardest struggle, is mentally, with how society is going to look at her now.
Yeah.
And is it society's responsibility to look at her that way? If that is something she chose to do with her life, you know?
Well,
yeah,
yes and
we
no. I
all
mean, she's
have our
putting it
own
out there for
personal-
society to judge it, though, right?
Right.
She's, yeah.
But also, there is a group that enjoys watching things like that. And we don't look down upon them because that's called porn, and it's okay because they're going to watch that porn. But we always look down on the women and men that are within the porn industry.
Yeah.
We never look down on the people because they're our significant other. They're our brother, our sister, they're us.
Yeah.
You know? So we don't look down on the people that view the porn, but there is a group of people that enjoy watching multiple people fucking somebody at one time. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So there is a need for that. Obviously, she's making money off of it. So when she made that decision for her to do that herself, why do we? Because it's not affecting me. I have no reason to be upset that she did it. I have no reason to have an opinion on why she did it. I have no reason to think that she was wrong for doing it.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect how I'm going to live my life every day.
Yeah.
And I think as society is, we look at, oh my gosh, that is morally wrong to me. But maybe it's not morally wrong to her.
I would say it's not.
Exactly.
It's not. I mean, yeah.
And that's what I'm getting at
She's
here.
like engaged, I think. Yeah.
We look down so hard on people in the porn industry and these content creators on OnlyFans or whatever platform that they're on. We look down so hard on them, but we're not looking at, well, I'm looking at porn, you know, I'm looking at you porn. I'm looking at maybe not paying for it, but you're looking at the free stuff. These women are out, these men and women are out here, couples, you know, making millions.
Yeah.
On things that we look at every day, maybe.
It's true.
So,
it's true. It's a good way to look at it.
And people have an opinion about it, but they're going home and they're pulling up that free porn site and be like, okay, let me get off to this tonight.
I've done that.
But they're not willing to pay for that other one. And that's okay.
Yeah.
You don't have to pay for it. There's a shit ton of free stuff out there.
Yeah. I just wonder what the thought process was behind it. I don't know. Was she trying to hit a record? She's trying to.
Yes, that's what it was. She was trying to hit a record.
Yes. And what does because I believe she had a fiance. What does he think about that? I wonder how that comes into play. I mean,
I did not look into it, but I imagine since she went ahead and went through with it, that he didn't have an issue with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. And I mean, as long as you're saying, my husband knows what I do. He is 100% on board with it. He tells me, you know, do what you got to do.
Does he have limits?
Huh?
Is there limits?
No. There's
Like,
limits for me. Yes. Like I won't go out here and put anybody else on. It's just me on mine. I won't go and collaborate with anybody because that's just not me. That's not who I want to be. But with people out there collaborating, I don't have an issue with it.
But he doesn't. But your husband lets you just do what you want to do. He doesn't say, he doesn't have any control over what material you put out there or content.
Yeah, no, he doesn't care. He doesn't care. Yeah. I mean, I discuss everything with him, but there's really no, hey, you can't do this or whatever.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't, it's all on morals. What is morally okay with you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
You know, just because it's not morally okay with you doesn't mean that it's not morally okay with somebody else.
Very true. We all have different opinions on it, and it's hard.
Absolutely.
And sometimes it's it's not even necessarily a moral thing. I mean, for me, it's more of like a fear thing, you know, like I could be like, oh, I could try it and see how I like it. But I'm like I am more afraid of like, okay, what are my friends going to think? My family are going to think if I do that. But then again, should have changed my name.
That's where I'll differ from you. I
Yeah,
have
you don't care.
I don't care attitude.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care what you think of me. If you
Right.
like me for who I am, great. And I have lost people in my life for that.
Yeah.
And that is just me that's just, you know, the universe telling me those people weren't supposed to be in my life.
Yeah.
Because people that like me for me and what I do it for them and their lives and what they do for me, then we're
you're also
friends.
using a different name. If you used your own name, would you feel differently?
No, absolutely not. I would not feel different if I used my real name. The reason I don't use my real name is because of my kids. If my kids do not want to, I have a 24-year-old and a 19-year-old. I have two that just turned 17, and then I have an 11-year-old. If they later on in life do not want to have social media and they don't want their lives put on social media, I don't want them to be associated with that name just for their safety.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. Makes sense. I would have to think about that and see if I would do something different if I was going to attempt it. I'm going to get on there and try to cook, you know. I can't have Andrea cooking up in there.
Right.
Oh, that would be funny. That would be funny.
Right.
Oh, gosh.
Sometimes it's difficult, and there are people that judge me and say bad things about me, but I just look at it as you guys are so far stuck in your moral compass that you don't take anybody else's moral compass into consideration.
Yeah.
You know, just because you don't like it doesn't mean I'm not going to like it. And just because I like it doesn't mean that you're going to like it.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Well,
walking down a winding road, I see the sun that glows in every crack, in every stone where wildflowers grow. The whispers of the wind, they tell a tale of time. Every broken heart's a lesson dressed in quiet rhyme.
Are you someone that sleeps? Our studies show you likely are. Designed for side sleepers straight out of the box, the Pillow Fight Haymaker Loft can be adjusted for back or stomach sleepers in mere seconds. Look at your current pillow. Face it, it's nasty. Our competition uses these cheap blobs of foam that just aren't comfortable or supportive. Pillow Fight's proprietary noodle-shaped foam blend rebounds quickly for maximum cool, comfort, and support. Oh yeah. Our naturally cooling cover will have you dreaming in no time. Handmade in the USA. Pillow Fight. Invest in your rest.
Walking down a winding road, I see the sun that glows in every crack, in every stone where wildflowers grow. The whispers of the wind, they tell a tale of time. Every broken heart's a lesson dressed in quiet rhyme. Tangled heartstrings pull and tear, they guide us through the hate.
All right, guys, we know that it is June 1st, and we know what June means. June is Pride Month. It is so important to be yourself and express yourself and be who you are and love who you love. So this June, make sure that you are telling those significant others how much you love them, whether they be the same sex or not. or maybe they're trans, and that's okay too. So with June 1st here, happy Pride Month, everybody.
That's so fun. And I'll say just a little something on that too, Mia, because it's very near and dear to my heart. My son is bisexual. Excuse me. And he came out to us a couple of years ago, and I know it's very exciting. And just a quick little story, but that he told me, and he told his brother and his friends and everything. And he was a little nervous about telling his dad. And just because, it's a dad son thing, it was a little bit nervous. And so he's a singer. And so he wrote a song about it. And so every time they do a new song, they go out and sit in the car and they listen on the speaker. So he called his dad out to go out and listen to the song. This is like a few years ago. So they sat in the car and listened, and he said, I just want you to hear this. And so he played this song called First Hello. And it talks about how he has prayed to God since he was 12 to fix him. And and that, he's afraid of his mother. He's risking his mom of grandkids, and that he hopes his dad knows he's no less of a man. And this song was so touching and beautiful. And I just wanted to mention this because he ended up playing it for his dad, who got the point and of course was amazing. Like, I love you no matter who you are, what you are, it doesn't matter to me. And so he posted that video, and it went viral on TikTok and stuff, has like 80 million views. And he's been playing at the Pride festivals. He played in Miami. He played at WeHo today.
Is it going to be in DC this month?
He did today. He just played it today. I know, that's where he was, in West Hollywood. I know. He's not coming, and he was here in West Hollywood. He got to play in the main stage where like Lizzo was, and Kim Petras, and some really big acts. And so we're just so proud of him for being who he is and just putting it out there. And so many people reached out to him after he put this song out, saying that he changed their lives and that he helped them, that they were, afraid to talk to their parents, and they used his song to help do that. So I really love it. If I can just say his name is Grant, and he played First Hello, and it's such a beautiful, beautiful song. And so I think he's going to Kentucky next, but it's been such a dream. Yeah. So I'm really proud.
My kids like 3 years ago also. So it was important. My husband has always known, but it was a big thing for me. Like, are my kids going to accept me?
So what a twist that is though, Mia, because like my son coming to me, but you, how did they react?
They support me 100%. One had a little bit of an issue, but explaining to him, just because mom is bi doesn't mean that mom's leaving dad, because a lot of kids think that. Yeah. But coming out to them, my husband has always known, because I was in a relationship with a girl before him, and he's always known. Yeah. But coming out to my kids it took me forever. It was just 3 years ago that I did that. But hey,
you did.
I want to say this: be who you are, love who you want to, and let people know. Who cares what other people think? I know I had that fear that my kids would like disown me or whatever. But at the same time, it was so relieving to be able to lift that weight off my shoulders and be completely open. I got a tattoo with the bi colors on it. So everybody knows now, because I don't hide that part of me anymore. Very cool. So it's important if you're listening, to open up. Tell your family, tell your friends. You may lose people in the long run, but that's okay.
Your friends in the first
that matter are going to stick around.
Yep. Agreed. I love it.
100%.
So switching from Pride to Prime.
Right.
So one of the things that we were going to talk about is kind of how Amazon Prime is like affects, not specifically Amazon Prime, but certain accounts, sharing them with your partner, your spouse, how those kind of things work. So we were just going to touch base on that a little bit. And when is it okay for your ex to still use your logins?
Never.
I am an anomaly. I'm going to say this. I told you I was married for 20 years. I know, here we go. I was married for 20 years. My ex-husband and I are still very close. My kids are still on my my tab a little bit, right? So I don't want to get in trouble from Amazon, but we share all that shit. So like, I know. So he pays one. I pay. There's so many of these days, like,
right? And they add up.
It adds up, and they keep raising. Netflix has gotten out of control.
My issue with this is giving out your password and then you break up with the person.
Yes.
And you forget that you gave them the password. So they're just riding free out here, watching whatever they want.
So maybe you get you get a password that is only for your boyfriends or your girlfriends, and they use that, and then you change it like the lock on your front door. You're not going to keep letting them in, huh?
What if you forget? I mean, we at the beginning of this episode, we were talking about financial responsibility. So let's bring that back in a little bit. So do we know all of our streaming services, and do we know who all has our login? That's
somebody in India probably has my login. I mean, we're not worried about my boyfriend. I'm worried about the dude in India. I don't know.
But so you break up.
Yes.
And you change your password, but it's a password that you've used on another account that they already know.
That's what sucks. You almost have to do it if you're going to give. I would say if you're going to give the password to a significant other or somebody that you may or may not be going the distance with, like, change it before you do it. Hey, let's change it to this, and then you can use it. I don't know. I wouldn't give it to a boyfriend. Personally.
I wouldn't give it to a boyfriend.
I wouldn't do it. Period.
Like in a very committed and a very, very committed relationship, like an engagement ring, maybe.
Yeah, because to me it goes back to the
so personal.
Yeah,
so personal.
But to me, Mia, it goes back to the financially secure. Why are you needing to use my Amazon account? Get your own freaking account.
Exactly. Out in this dating world. I mean, I get it if you're married, and like in your case where you were married for so long and you have children together, you've created this like huge connection within your lives. I get that. But if you're just out here just willy-nilly dating and you know, Tom, Dick, and Harry all have your password, I don't think Sally needs it too.
Tom, Dick, Harry, Sally, Willie, and Nilly.
I know, right?
You're only allowed 6 accounts on a Netflix, girl. They're taken up now.
I'm just showing my age. It's okay.
You said willy-nilly twice. Oh gosh,
I love that.
Yes, I hear you though.
It has been crazy. We've gone over a lot of good dating advice. We want to make sure that we are financially stable, that when we get into the dating world, that we are financially stable and we're finding somebody that is on our own financial spectrum, that we're not overreaching or underreaching. We want to make sure that we are sharing and communicating. That is going to be the biggest thing, is open communication between partners.
Yes, and no dick pics.
No dick pics. Unless you ask first.
Unless you ask first.
Ask first, and then you shall receive one, and then you can send another.
Don't ask me.
Well, you won't get a dick pic. You'll get something else first. All right, guys. Tonight has been amazing. Thank you for joining us again for season 2, episode 2. And we will be back next Sunday at 9:30 p.m. wherever you are watching us now. Bye, guys.
Bye.
didn't do anything